Welcome to the 30-day progress video to start a business from absolutely nothing. So here is day one. Thing that I should probably get going is some sort of website. This is my morning to-do list. A hell of a lot better off than I was 30 days ago. So AI helped me create a pretty good template. Now I have a bunch of leads to reach out to. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of something called Abacus. So as I'm working on day 2 right now of this program, a lot of things are moving. See if we can't seal our first deal before this 30 days is up. I'm on Instagram. I've been putting some stuff up. My reels are here. Do a lot of different emotions and trial and error. So many different things you can't even begin to imagine. I have been grinding away. Late hours, late days, and 25 days into it, I believe we've got our first client.
A lot of basic stuff you got to do first, which is just performing good on this project is one thing, right? Just so you have something, some proof that you did something that was more complex.
Welcome to the second 30-day progress video. Last month we made $750, which wasn't much, don't get me wrong. But this month we've made $2,000 and I'm on day 90 actually. Basically this is my what I did today list. James, if you're watching this, I know you're coming for me, and it's been a great competition this whole way, buddy. The money I brought in last month was $2,750. I didn't quite double it like I wanted to. I officially brought in $3,000 this month. So this is what has been deposited in the last 30 days.
You did fantastic. Like that was a Hormozy pitch if I ever saw one. So
are you fucking serious? Excuse my language.
Whole thing. You did a great job.
I was so nervous. Obviously, we've got investors we need to talk to, or he's got investors he needs to talk to. I'm probably gonna get wrapped into more than I initially signed up for. Holy shit. Welcome to the 180-day progress video. Can I just say that this has been such a crazy adventure and journey to go on, not only with myself, but with all of you guys that have been following this progress as well. I have a really, really amazing team stands by my side, and I couldn't have done any of this without them. I can't really give you guys the big news, unfortunately, because most likely be investor decisions that need to be made, legal teams that need to be involved, pretty big contracts that need to be written up. But I will give you guys a little bit of a snippet of the proposal. Point is, I made a pretty large proposal this past weekend. I was scared. I'm not even gonna lie. I was very, very nervous, but it ended up working out. I gave my wife a example of it the night before, just so that I could show her what it was like and what the pitch was. Yeah, I was just reading through the screen, the slides, kind of just going through the motions of it. Afterwards, I asked her, I was like, what do you think of it? And she's like, well, it's good. And I was like, but where's that charm? It was pretty obvious that you were just kind of reading from the slide. You didn't sound like you knew what you were talking about. You were just going through the motions of it. It's a checkbox. And so I took her advice on that. I definitely looked over the slide. I did a lot of research. I put into it, and there was a lot of terms that I was pretty unfamiliar with. After everything was all said and done, I really started to learn more like KPIs and SLOs and SLIs, dashboards, and there was a lot of different things that I wasn't 100% sure of, but when I was doing research, it was telling me like you need to incorporate all of these things in there. When I ended up giving the proposal, it ended up going a lot better than I expected, as you may have seen already by now. Next month, or whenever the contract is actually signed, I'll be able to give you guys an exact number. Just know that it was, if anybody would have told me 6 months from now, I would have been in a position to even attempt to pitch a contract of this scale, I would have laughed in their face. Without further ado, let's get into the nitty-gritty about what's kind of happened throughout this month aside from the proposal. The first things first that I want to touch on, I've launched my own school community. So as you can see here, the name of it is going to be AI Business Hub, and what the whole purpose of this is going to be surrounded around to attract both developers and business owners that are interested in trying to integrate AI into their pre-existing businesses. That's most of my clients, right? We want to try to enhance the experience that business owners have by bringing AI to their pre-existing processes, or improving them, enhancing the quality, or what my preference is taking a business owner's ideas and visions and bringing their visionary ideas to life, right? That's what we did with this client, and it worked out really great. We took something that was just a seed, and now we're growing it into this big, beautiful thing. I'll drop the link to it down below here. It's just, ABH is a community built for entrepreneurs, business leaders, and innovators who want to leverage the power of AI to grow and scale their businesses. Now, I don't know exactly everything that I'm going to put in here. There's no classroom yet, or there's nothing on the calendar. I just started this. And I started this because I got Alex Hormozi's $100 million model book launch. I went there. And when I did that, I got 90 days of free school to launch a free school community. So I was like, I sat on it for maybe about 3 weeks, and I was like, yeah, we're going to launch. But I was like, what am I doing here, right? Like, we're not launching anything. So if it's free, like, what's the issue with opening it up now? The only thing that can happen is people sign up and they're not going to leave because it's free. It doesn't matter. It doesn't cost a dime. The only thing I'll be able to do is be able to find out what people need, right? So you've got this Read Me page. And it's got this little introduction. I thought Read Me was a little catchy here because it's, it's like a Read Me doc. Obviously, there's a space when there doesn't need to be, but anyways, so I'm not going to go through all of this because you can read it yourself when you get into it. But essentially, right around here, it says, go ahead and drop an introduction down in the comments and simply let us know what brought you here to this community. Once you've given a brief introduction, please fill out this form. It's only 4 questions long and fields are optional, so you can remain anonymous if you so choose. Basically, what the purpose of this is here, I'll go ahead and give a brief example. So if I just go and fill this out and I check, like, let's say the needs of me going into this community is I want free innate-in workflows. I want 15-minute personal support calls. I would like a monthly business AI trends report because I'm a business owner and I want to see what the AI trends are happening in business. And maybe I want some VAPI voice agent support because that's what I kind of do right now. I would like to enhance my abilities here. And one thing that I don't see on here is like maybe I want monthly group support calls. Click submit. As you can see, it entered it all into here. Now, one thing that I need to figure out is how to only have this get sent once for the other requests, because I don't know. I guess I could have it come through a whole bunch. It's fine. But it's color coded, right? At the end of the month, we can review this and be like, okay, filter by color. Okay, that doesn't work. It's not quite working. It works in terms of putting it on here, but apparently the filter isn't working. I think it has something to do with this black bar here. I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to get rid of that. It gives us a way to go back in and track and determine exactly what you guys want and what your needs are, right? We only want to make sure that we are providing the best kind of value for you guys, right? Because that's what you guys join a community for. Eventually, there will be a paid for community. We do want to do that, and there will be a lot of done for you solutions. Something that we notice with a lot of these communities is they offer a promise of done for you. Then the done for you is really a learn for yourself. And so what we want to do is we want to offer some learning opportunity in the free version, a free community. But then we want to also offer done for you solutions in the paid community, right? So that's kind of what our thoughts are. It's still a work in progress. So yeah, school community, join the link below, click it in the bottom. It's free to join for right now. It's absolutely free. This one will never cost a dime. This never will. Eventually we will get a paid one, like I said, but that won't be for maybe a month once we start getting people in and we identify what some of your needs are. And then we will know how to actually better service you guys in the way that you need. So something else that was pretty big is we added somebody new to the team. So before it was me, the guy who is the head developer with everything we do, a buddy of mine that I work with out of South Africa. Both people have asked to respectfully remain nameless. However, if you join the community, you'll see their name as the admins in there, so I don't know. But anyways, yeah, but we've added a 4th person. He is our VAPI expert. He specifically has a very high interest in the voice agent direction, and most of what we do is actually voice agents. We just thought that it would be beneficial for that because I'm spending a lot of extra time just doing voice agent scripts and designing voices and doing research and all that, and I would say at least 50% of my day was taken up with doing voice agent stuff, like legitimately me designing the voice agents. That was just, I was like, no, I've got to find somebody else to help me with this because I'm not doing any actual, I'm doing revenue generating activities, but this is something that I can outsource and still turn a profit on. Those are the things that you want to be able to outsource, right? You don't want to have somebody do something for you and you're not, it's not helping you make money. Right? So I was like, this is taking up a lot of my time. It's a revenue generating activity and I know somebody who actually does this stuff. So let me just cut them in on the money. That's what we did. So Alex Hormozi, right? I went to his live book launch event. I got my copy of the $100 million money models. And first off, let me just say, if you don't have a copy, go get yourself a copy, because this book is awesome. But I also got the workshop in there, which is also free. I will add that in the comments down below or in the description, so you guys can go and get the free courses there as well, so that you guys can have a way to go and use the resources that I have been using. And it's been absolutely phenomenal. It's pretty much like a free version of this book. It has more interactive courses. Like, he's literally teaching it right there. We have had 4 total clients go live this week or this month, which is great. One of the clients is strictly outbound for right now. They're waiting to launch their inbound capabilities. They've booked, I think, 13 appointments, and then another one they're doing inbound and outbound, and we're about to integrate a transfer call function with them, and they've booked over 30 appointments just this month. August 6th is when they started, and they've already booked, so that's technically more than 1 appointment a day. They are doing amazing. And we just put 2 more clients live on Friday. And by the end of this month, we should have another 8 total, right? That's kind of crazy. We've got another 8 total clients that are going to be live. So we've got a system that we're starting to implement to track the errors that come through, to abide by our service level agreement that we've got. And yeah, that's doing really, really great. Doubling back to my school community, when I do release the paid for version, I will be giving away the 200 books that I got from Alex's book launch for free. I did actually pay for that, which was a lofty, I believe it was $6,000 purchase for the 200 books. I didn't want 200 books. Don't get me wrong. I didn't just say to myself, Jason, you need 200 of the same books. I did that because it was, I know what it is. It's a pyramid scheme, whatever you want to call it. He does a great job, and he still gives great value. Okay, we really spent the money to get this bad boy right here, right? Okay, this is where the money came from, and then we also got it to use it as a tax write-off because we donated the money to be able to donate the books. So it was a win-win. We get to put books back in the hands of entrepreneurs. We got a really awesome resource. I use the ACQ AI, which, if you don't know what that is, man, you really missed out, because that's what helped draft my entire proposal. And next month, when I release what the figure is, or whenever I'm allowed to release what that number is, you guys are going to be like, holy shit. Yeah. Anyways, it's great stuff. And I'm looking through this. We've got the playbooks. We've got the goated ads. A guide over here on this side that shows, talks about like when you would use these. Got goated ads, branding, hooks, lead nurture, closing. Like, this just basically, anytime you encounter a scenario in the business world, you're like, what would I do? What should I do in this scenario? You go here and you look at this stuff and you reference it, and it basically gives you a guide of like, well, if Alex Hormozi was in this situation, this is what he would do. And it's just filled. So the books are awesome. Don't get me wrong, but the real value, heck, if I land this proposal, knock on wood, but when I land this proposal, this would have paid itself off 100 times over, figuratively. It's not nearly that much, I wish. So the last thing that I'm going to talk about with you guys is the thing that I always end every progress video with, and that's profit that was made, because that's what everybody wants to hear, right? I want to see how big people get, profit month to month, what's going on, MMR, annual revenue, all that good stuff. So let me open up my QuickBooks and I'll show you an example. All right, without scrolling down or getting too into who I'm invoicing or what I'm doing, this is what I've made in the past 30 days, which that's okay. I know that last time I made just over 11,000, I believe, or just over 10,000. This drop is not necessarily a bad thing, and let me tell you why. The reason why this drop isn't the worst thing in the world is due to the fact that when we first started this, and also a reason why we've only got 4 clients out, and it'll make sense here in a second. So when we started this, our process was super broken, right? The project development life cycle, you develop a product and then you've got to perfect the process and test it and then roll it out and then go back and take the feedback and improve it and refine it and all over again. It's a massive interactive process that requires a lot of fine tuning. Well, when we first started doing this, the client onboarding process was so freaking broken that it was like, they would send us a work order. I would see the price tag and be like, oh, $1,500 or $700 or whatever the case may be, let me sign. And without thinking about the fact, like, okay, what do we actually need to fulfill this client? And so after doing that enough times and realizing that our deadlines keep getting pushed back and nothing's being met properly, we're like, okay, we need to fix this. And so the proposal that we have to fix it is all the clients that are out right now, or that we currently have that I've signed work orders for, those are going to stay the broken process, and we'll just do what we can to get those out. All clients moving forward, we will not receive a work order until my client has everything that they need in order for us to fulfill their clients. And those are assets, right? So APIs, CRMs, accounts, VAPIs, like all that stuff. Anything that we need to build it so that we can just get it, build it, deploy it. That's what we should be doing. So to be able to expedite our process, because I was getting really sick of having to constantly go back to the person I'm working with and telling him, because he would ask me like, hey, what's the holdup? And I'd say, it's not us, man. It's not us. And so, and I'm not pointing fingers by any means. I don't, you know who you are. I'm not blaming anybody with this. It was just a broken process, and like we were applying pressure that should not have been applied. He's only one person, right? And so we've got to be understanding about that and realize that like we've got to get everything put together first. And so the best way to do it, where nobody's pointing fingers at anybody, is just like wait for you to get your stuff. When you have your stuff, tell us you have your stuff. Give us the work order. I'll send the invoice. We'll build it, duplicate it, done. And so that's the process we're on right now. It was so amazing to be able to share this with you guys. And hopefully if things go the way they should be going, next month, I should have something really special for you guys. And if you remember back from the very first video, I had until September 30th to be able to turn a profit, or I'd have to go back to getting a job. Oh yeah, we're there, baby. Like, subscribe, go to my school community, please join it. It's a free community. It costs absolutely $0 to join. Give some feedback, help us there. We would love to give you free value and free resources in return just for some of your feedback. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. It's been wonderful giving you guys these monthly progress videos. I'm not going to say I wouldn't do this without the help of you, but doing this really does help me out. So just seeing you guys interested in watching what's going on does help me out. So huge thanks, huge shout out. Leave comments if you'd like me to post anything else that you wish you'd be getting value for in another direction. I can do that instead. So talk to you later.